Greetings, class. Happy Sunday and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I'm hoping everybody's enjoying their day. In many parts of the country, including California, where I'm at right now, they have kind of lightened up on some of the restrictions in terms of the quarantine, but still a little bit iffy. And so it's kind of a great segue in what I'm talking about with the quarantine is the news around that. So as you get into week two and chapter five of the book, we're going to be talking about basics of journalism, and many of you already know some of these requirements. But the basic one is what questions do we ask, and it really just breaks down into who, what, when, where, why, and sometimes how. And those questions, if you answer them correctly, you put together a news or media story. Now, journalism and media have changed enormously in the last 20 years, as all of you know. Many of you are probably too young to even know that newspapers were the main way that people got news. But the actual writing of pieces hasn't changed too much in some ways because back in, say, the 1930s and 40s, it was the first paragraph that really had to be written well so that the audience would be drawn into it. The headline was very important as well. And some of that is true today as well. Much of it is true today because there's so much competition for eyeballs, right, to be looking at certain content. Sure, the written press is still out there, but for the most part, we're talking about media that is visual. It's going to be either on television or on the internet. And it makes it that much harder for the media to get a story, write about it, and get the attention of the reader. So that's what a lot of what you'll be talking about this week. We'll be talking about this week. The other piece of it is what's the lead, right? Get the strong lead. And it depends who your audience is. It depends what you're writing about. There's a lot of dependencies here. I think you'll find it interesting and informative. And I think for those of you who, I grew up in the days of newspapers, and for example, the LA Times was like a Sunday Times was like this, right? Today, if you buy the Sunday Times, it's much smaller. So, and because advertising was a big piece of the Sunday newspaper, and that brings me to the discussion about advertising as well, which is still a part of the media, whether it's social media, television, etc., radio, those types of things. Okay, so anyway, I hope you enjoy this week. If you have any questions, make sure and reach out to me. I look forward to talking to everybody through the discussions. Take care.